Welcome to Computer and Technology Radio with your hosts, Mark Cohen and Marcia Collier.
And welcome, and as always, thank you for joining us on this Saturday. If you're listening live, 877-474-3302. If you want to call us, you can reach us many ways by Twitter. That's Mark, M-A-R-C, and Marcia, M-A-R-S-H-A. You can get us at #MarkTechRadio, Mark and Marcia at Gmail, Marcia Collier on Twitter, and all of the above. Let me introduce our guest. His name is Jeff Farr, and Jeff is president of Farr Systems. And one of the things that, and I'll ask him to explain to us what Farr Systems is and what they do, but the thing that intrigued me is they've been following and studying car computer hacking. And I'm not even sure what that means, but Jeff, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks. Good afternoon.
Pleasure to have you here.
How you doing? Is car hacking anything like when I tried to get into the Windows heart of my CTS computer and make it so I could watch DVDs while the car was driving?
A little bit.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, before you tell us about car hacking, tell us, what is Farr Systems? What do you guys do?
Well, thanks for asking. We're basically an IT strategy and management firm. So consulting. We do it on services, but we're instead of really trying to get into the technical details, we really try to look at the long-term picture, the overall strategy, where you're going, what are you trying to do, those kinds of things.
Got it. Okay, cool. All right, so talk to us about car hacking, because, for the number of years now, cars have had computers installed inside the car, and I mean, long before we thought about having internet in a car, every car had a computer system going back for years and years and years. Now it's getting a little bit more serious. So what is car hacking, or car tech hacking?
Okay, well, you set that up beautifully. We have had computer systems in cars for a long time. I think the thing that's changing now is that you're starting to get access via, whether it be satellite or whether it be cellular or whether it even be from, short distance radio. Before, you pretty much had to get inside the car, right? You needed to get on, there's an onboard diagnostics port you could plug in, and it was very difficult. It was, it was heady stuff. Not the average guy is going to do that. So I think the change is, the example of the something what we call telematics is like OnStar. If you have a GM car like OnStar,
I know, I love it.
Yeah, it's great features, but that's starting to change a little bit about the access to the car.
Huh.
Does that help you a little bit there?
Sure.
No, now I'm more confused. So how, you mean other people can access my car other than OnStar?
Possible, meaning that OnStar is a door. Let's just think of it as a door into the car. So, if it's well secured and so forth, then it's just like anything else. It's a secure way to get in. The problem is anything can be hacked. Well, let me back up. The one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to sound this alarmist tone. That's really not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to say is that as we've increased the sophistication in automobiles, and exponentially, then what we've done is we've put in potential vulnerabilities. That's really what I'm trying to illuminate, I think, is what I'm trying to say. So, Marcia, did I answer your question or no?
Yeah, it's a little bit more. I think of it as a window versus a door.
Window works for me, too.
Now that, for example, Audi this year has introduced, or last year, has introduced Wi-Fi in the cars.
Right.
So that's got to be a potential hazard for people hacking into your system just by the car.
That's right. That's absolutely true. You probably heard the term infotainment.
Sure.
In-vehicle infotainment. Well, that's a big feature for a lot of cars now, especially the newer cars.
Right.
And it's all about Bluetooth and connectivity. Can I get my iPad, my iPod, and just like you said, the hotspots and the Wi-Fi. So now we're really opening up our car. The thing for the car manufacturers is, can I keep those infotainment systems separate from the car safety systems? Things like braking systems and collision control. cruise control. Hell, the cars can park themselves now.
Yes.
So, there's a lot of smarts in there, and keeping those systems separate is a big thing for the automakers.
I've been a big James Bond fan, so I can envision driving in my Aston Martin and disabling the brakes of the car next to me through the computer system. It's a little far out, but is that a potential with all the computers set up in cars?
Theoretically, that's there, absolutely. Well, like I said, the last thing I want to do is scare the average consumer that they think somebody next to them is going to disable their brakes and wreck them. But if you were very sophisticated, spent a lot of time and resource and energy, could it be done? Yes.
Yeah, so how do we protect ourselves, and are the manufacturers, the car manufacturers and the computer manufacturers and such, doing something to prevent this, or is it as easy as protecting your Wi-Fi system?
Well, I think it's both. I think there are a few things that the consumer can do, but it's mainly the automakers. It's in their best interest. The last thing that a car company wants to do is be associated with a mass vulnerability. Think of the way Toyota had to deal with the acceleration problems. That just went viral on the...
Sure.
And there was actually a large component of that they studied to try to figure out if that was software related. Was that an attack? Right. They ended up saying no, it wasn't. So the automaker has to, it's in their best interest. This is all about risk mitigation, protecting their brand, having safe vehicles. On the other side, from the consumer perspective, here's an easy one. Let's say that you have put in your iPod data into your car, your iPhone and your contacts and all that stuff, and you sell the car. Oh. Well, okay, so just like if you give your laptop to somebody else, you need to have the ability to wipe that data out of there.
Right, yeah, you need that reset button.
Right. So, it's a simple, it seems, small compared to crashing cars and so forth, but right. I don't want my data going to the next guy who buys my car, or if I trade it in, did they wipe it? So, that's kind of a simple thing. Having good passwords on the Bluetooth or on the Wi-Fi, just like at home, just like any other time, there are a few things that consumers can do.
Right.
Now, how does the cloud play into this? Is any of this stuff stored in the cloud, or is it all resident in the car?
That's a really good question. I haven't really thought about it from the cloud perspective.
Good question,
and I think it's relevant. The reason it's relevant is because I don't know of a software company that goes to market today that does not have a cloud version. Now, they may be all cloud, or they may be partially going to the cloud, but it is part of information technology, and it's pervasive. So it has to, all of this has to go back to some cloud connectivity, and if there's cloud connectivity, then there's gonna be stored data.
So go ahead. I'm sorry, finish.
So I think Marcia's question of does the cloud come into play? It absolutely does. Once again, that's going to go back into the automakers being sure that where is that data stored, and how easily is it going to be gotten to, and so forth.
Fascinating.
How successful have people been into remotely opening somebody else's car? Things like this, security things.
Well, there's been several studies, certainly at the university level. Some of these security companies, like Symantec and McAfee, and those are studying this. The manufacturers are taking this very seriously. All of them. None of them want a bad mark on this area of security. So there's a lot of people looking at it. There have been some successes in getting into the vehicle. Most of them have been going through the diagnostic port. There was one situation where one company or one individual embedded some software on the CD player through a song, so it was attached to a song,
Yeah, I was going to ask that. If you infected a CD and put it into the CD player of somebody's car, could
actually, you know what, Jeff, can we hang on? Because we've got to go to break. And I want to answer Marcia's question, and then how do we protect? And I envision this time where I have to install antivirus software in my car. Who thought would ever?
Well, I'll be meeting with the folks from Symantec. I'll find out about that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. All right, we're going to be right back with Jeff Farr. We're talking about car hacking and hacking computers in your car. That's a little frightening. Don't go away. Great show ahead. 877-474-3302. We'll be right back.